TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Did you ever try to get into Crockett territory at all, or work for Vince Jr. at all? Early on?
No.
Okay. How did you wind up in World Class?
World Class was Bruiser Brody getting on his knees in Puerto Rico, begging me to come to work for him in Dallas. Said he needed help bad. And, long story short, I went to return the favor.
What are your thoughts on Fritz Von Erich?
Fritz Von Erich was a very, very intelligent man. Fritz paid me one of the best compliments I've ever had in the business. Fritz told me one day, he said, "Man," he said, "you have one of the sharpest minds for professional wrestling that I have ever seen." And really, really made me feel good. You know, if that didn't give my self-confidence, nothing ever would.
Right.
And Fritz, now when I met Fritz, Fritz had come through one of the biggest runs in the history of professional wrestling with the Freebirds and Von Erichs. All that had ended, and the territory was in bad shape financially. Drawing money-wise, Fritz had enough money to live happily ever after, but the territory was not drawing money, and they had tried a lot of different things, and nothing was seeming to work. And Fritz was no spring chicken then. Certainly wasn't hungry, and I don't think Fritz's heart was, well, I know it was not as involved in the wrestling business, in world-class wrestling, as it had been. Because once they had the Freebirds and the Von Erichs going, man, all you had to do was stick a poster up in a town, and it was sold out. Well, nothing good lasts forever. That was over. They tried to resurrect that angle, which is impossible to do. I don't care who you are. And now they're not drawing money, hadn't drew money for a while, and I think Fritz was tired, but Fritz wanted to keep his boys a place to work. Fritz was hard-nosed, rough, really rugged, and but I got along very well with Fritz Von Erich. Very intelligent man. And very business savvy, not just in wrestling, very business savvy.
What are your thoughts on him as a father?
As a father, I wasn't at their house. I don't know. As a father, wrestling promoter father, Fritz was very strict on his kids. He wanted his kids to be picture perfect in the wrestling ring. If you're asking me, was he too strict? I don't know how to answer that other than, am I that strict with my kids? No way. The Von Erich saga is such a touchy subject, you know. Fritz did what Fritz thought he should do. Would Fritz ever intentionally harm one of his kids or do something bad or cause them to do something bad? In no way.
What are your thoughts on the tragedies that the Von Erichs went through, from David to
Tragedies. My God, tragedies. There was even another Von Erich before David.
Was
Electrocuted, yes, a little. I don't remember how old. Now, you've got to take into consideration, I'm booking Southwest Wrestling and Joe Blanchard. The Von Erichs are opposition. I don't know them. I just know we're both trying to draw money in San Antonio, Austin, Waco, so. Never met them. Met David very little in Florida. So, never knew the Von Erichs until I got there. Okay? And I'm not one to, think somebody's holier than thou. But the Von Erichs were gods in Dallas, Texas, where the World Class Wrestling TV played. A big part of that, or probably the big part of that, was the Freebirds, Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, Buddy Roberts. That angle clicked so well that it propelled the Von Erichs way past superstardom. You could put one Von Erich name on a wrestling poster, and you bet your butt that town's selling out. But there were, I don't know what the word would be, tragedies, it's very well. While I was there, Mike OD'd. I think that's what they ended up, what they called it. Went out into the field and took too many pills. If you're asking me, was there a drug problem in the Von Erichs? I don't know. I never saw the Von Erichs doing any kind of drugs with these guys. Would I suspect? Would I think there was a drug problem in world-class wrestling? Brother, back in those days, there were drug problems in every territory on the face of the earth. So the answer would be yes. And there were major problems.
What are some of the major problems as far as just guys partying too hard with coke and all that? Or
That's a major problem, man.
Right.
All with coke or all that. Wrestlers, and here's where I go digging me a hole. But wrestlers tend to think they're 6 feet tall and bulletproof. I can do whatever I want when I want to do it. And it's not all that wrestlers' fault for thinking that way, because the fans have made them think that way. Not just your city cops, your county cops, but your state troopers that pull you over on the side of the road for going 110 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour speed limit zone. And you always keep your license in your trunk, your billfold in your trunk. So you open your trunk and you've got your pictures and t-shirts there, and he don't write you a ticket. He wants you to autograph one of your shirts and pictures for his kids or his wife. So I can understand how a wrestler gets to those stages. And they just, you take a little bit of this drug, take a little bit of that one, you feel better, and life goes on. Nothing can hurt you. Nothing can knock you down until, boom, all my buddies are dead and gone.
Which death has hit you the hardest?
Just lately, Tony Adams. Tony was a super friend. And her death was a big surprise and big shock. I hadn't talked to Tony for probably 18 years. Well, how was she a super friend? Well, you have to know me. I haven't had anything to do with the wrestling business for about 18, 19 years now. And very, very, very few people have I even talked to. I could count them on one hand. In the wrestling business in the last 18 years. Am I bitter to the wrestling business? No. God bless everybody that's in it. I hope you make $1 million. It's just not for me anymore. That one hit hard. Eddie Gilbert hit hard. Eddie was a good guy.
I'm going to ask you about Eddie coming up, definitely.
Danny Fargo, he was one of my best friends. Steve Stacks, the announcer in San Antonio, I've heard that he passed away. And the list just goes on and on and on. It's just unreal how many of my buddies that I worked with all those years are not here to be here now.
TitleMatchNetwork.com